Okay, Polycast wheels. Kind of popular in the 70s, but they have several drawbacks. One of which is right there. You know, the water, and it's usually around the valve stem, of course. Water gets in there, it sits, it rots, and then it rusts. And as it does, it peels the rubber away. And it is rubber. You can see these are pretty flexible, actually. So, and that's usually the problem on these, is they get bad right in that area. AMC had some Polycast wheels. I would imagine Ford and GM did too. But anyway, and the other thing I ran into, and I don't know if this is just bad luck or if it was typical of these wheels, but of the 6 that started with this project, one of them, of course, was junk like this. 2 of them were bent. One of them was bent radially and laterally. That thing was, I don't know how that thing ever made it out off the assembly line. You can just about look at it and see it's crooked. Another one's bent a little bit, and then one of these other ones that I've got done here, a little bit of weirdness in the center hub area that I think I fixed. So anyway, I'll show you what I did. And this was also my test mule to find the right color paint or the paint as close as I could. So that's the typical problem. This is blasted and repainted, and you'll notice that the wheel is gray, not black, like most wheels are painted black. But for whatever reason, these were all painted gray. As you can kind of see there, and there's a green stripe. I don't know what the green stripe means, and it doesn't matter anymore anyway. So, but I don't have this part of it painted yet. I've got all this painted. Here we have one that's got the rubber part of it painted, and this too, the lip is all painted the same color. And I don't know how picky they were at masking stuff at the factory. I was not, because once the tire's on, you're never going to see the overspray. Out of sight, out of mind. And then here we have this one. I have, kind of get it in view here, just a trim ring and a center cap sitting in there just for fun. They're not the trim ring or center cap that's going to be on here. Got a huge pile of them. I got to fish through all of them and find the 4 best ones. But I'll show you some of the detail in here. All of these, there's a little ridge on every one of these veins, and they're all silver, not the same color as everything else. So I mean, they are a really cool looking wheel. They feel like they weigh a ton. They're only 6 pounds more than a regular steel wheel. I know, I just got the scale out and I measured them. But they feel so heavy. And I know, and I don't know what the ratio is, you know, rotating mass, you know, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. For every pound you can add or subtract off your wheel, it's essentially like 10 in the car. Well, that's 60 pounds per wheel. So that's 240 pounds. That's, you know, that's a fat guy sitting in the back seat all the time with this versus, you know, a regular steel wheel. You know, how true that is, whatever. To me, the worst part about them is brake fade, because there's no holes in them. There's no way for air to get out from behind. So they have a tendency to the brakes get hot, especially if you're, you know, driving hard with them. That's the biggest problem with them. And I'm sure with lighter rims you can get better mileage and yada yada yada. But like I say, they look cool. So, you know, you give some, you get some, I guess. Anyway, so that's what they look like. Pretty much done, minus, you know, a better trim ring and center cap. Bulldog adhesion promoter is what I use for the rubber part, because like you saw earlier, there's a lot of flex in there. You got to do anything and everything you can, and I hope what I've done actually works. You know, it's hard to say. SEM, that's the number 39263, dark titanium metallic. That's the closest color I found to the original. The original had a lot more metallic in it, but this is the closest color-wise, and you know, you have to have some sort of bumper type of paint, some flexible paint, just because of where it is, you know. And then just, there we go, focus, testers, just silver paint pen. This is what I use, and this is a long process to paint each one of those little ridges on those on those deals. And then of course the touch-up brush to fix my screw-ups. I've got a couple that have to go back and touch up once the paint is good and dry. But you know, even right now from a step away, you can't see any of the things. I just know they're there, so I need to, my own peace of mind, I need to make them better. There we go, Polycast wheels.